Now, it's 140 years since the establishment of Labour Day and 128 years declared public holiday worldwide. In Uganda, communities living in the rural areas don't understand the day and its meaning. Its commemoration and others think that it's for government workers. However, those who understand the day and its worthiness to be commemorated reveal that as long as you have a job, even if it's agriculture, you must celebrate this day. Kasibante reports.
Uganda joins the rest of the world to commemorate the International Labour Day on the 1st May every year. Communities in the rural areas doing subsistence farming don't know the day, its meaning, its commemoration day, and others say it's for government workers. To that, it's over 140 years since Labour Day was established and 120 years declared public holiday worldwide. Still many communities in the rural areas, self-employed in agriculture, bricklaying, shop attendants, among other petty jobs call, describe themselves jobless. However, the few who understand the day are charged with responsibility of educating the others about the significance of commemorating the International Labour Day to changing their mindset on the informal sector. They find themselves employed with small returns on labour invested remaining a challenge.
Era nzuno ndi munimiro ne lwaki ate sigamenti kanzire wakane bage ndi mukulima kuba mu enfuna sente ezimbeezaawo ne family yange
bazimanyi naye bwavu bwe buleese ekyo omuntu asebereza oddukuza nga talina nakyagenda kulya naddala nga mbyale n'abantu tuli bubi.
They recognize government efforts on creating a conducive atmosphere that has, to a lesser extent, enabled investors to invest in rural areas to scale down the rampant unemployment burden, especially amongst the youth and those yearning to work abroad. The proprietors of Imana Yera Company in Katiko, Mityana municipality say with the conducive environment beyond borders has helped them to employ over 400 youth, but appeal to government to lower the taxes on the machinery used in the industry to attract more importation and employment.
I want to thank the government for supporting us, the local companies, because indeed we are gaining out of it. We are employing the youth, we are having them to work for us. The government is giving us security, that is good. We are working on good terms. But what I'm requesting the government to do for us is that the taxes are getting high, in that we are not benefiting at all.
The company which was employing almost 250 workers from this branch reduced their workers to 150 workers. So this was mainly attributed by the effect of COVID-19. So what we are appealing to the government, when we reflect on this year's theme, we request that the government should look into the local manufacturing companies, which are directly employing workers who are centralized in villages. Naye waliwo wosanga ate omusolo guli waggulu nnyo gusingako ku nfuna gy'ofuna, so ne kireeta baddeni ate ku mulimu gwe tukola. Ekyensobola okusaba gavumenti, ekisookera ddala gavumenti yo bingi byeyina okutuwa. Ekisookera ddala okwongeramu amaanyi mu mirembe, okwongeramu amaanyi kukuuma bannayuganda.
However, as the country celebrates the International Labour Day, the biggest challenge facing suppliers of raw materials or agro-products is value addition that can attract high demand in agro-processing industries. A case in point, mangoes, oranges, pineapples, passion fruits, apples and bananas, among others. Sandra Kahonde, Salungo Kasibante, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Sandra Kahunde and Salongo Kasibante. In more stories, delayed acquisition of land has been cited as one of the obstacles to industrialization in Uganda. This postpones industrial development, which not only delays economic progress, but also employment creation.
thousands of people open businesses, but they don't celebrate their first birthday. But as trainers, as people with the knowledge, people with the experience, and people who are experts in this.
Research shows that small-scale enterprises account for nearly 2/3 of all jobs worldwide. Micro, small and medium enterprises also play a crucial role in providing income and livelihoods where there is a lack of sufficient wage employment. The International Labour Organization has been rolling out its flagship business management training program, Start and Improve Your Business, with a team of trained and certified trainers, the master trainers, who are charged with the duty of empowering business mentors and trainers.
We are being upgraded from the International Labour Organization trainers under the SIYB program to the master trainers. Our key task is going to be to develop products in line with the trainings, to develop trainers, and then to take control and quality and of the SIYB program.
Given the contribution of entrepreneurs to job creation and economic growth, many governments make efforts to support existing and aspiring business owners. According to the Chief Technical Advisor at International Labour Organization, Stephen Opio, this assistance can be offered in a wide variety of forms, including technical and entrepreneurial training, financial support, and other services.
And Improve Your Business training program of the ILO has created about 1.6 million jobs, and it has supported almost the creation of about 53,000 new enterprises world over. And these are small enterprises, but small enterprises which create opportunity for self-employment, but also for employment of others.
Stephen Opio is optimistic that this kind of intervention will be of great significance as government rolls out the community development model, the parish development model, as many communities need more technical experts to strengthen their enterprises.
At the lowest level of the administrative units, which is the parish. So we all know that the effect of COVID has led to the loss of jobs for many, has led to the closure of businesses for many, and it is largely SMEs that create these employment opportunities. But we are also happy that government has come up with a stimulus package to target SMEs who have been affected by the effect of COVID. So the key thing is, how do we mobilize SMEs through member-based associations and organizations?
The International Labour Organization recruited master trainers to collect and aggregate available data from their respective regions. And during the 10-day training in Entebbe town, the participants were treated to a number of innovations in empowering trainers of enterprises to survive and create
Business
employment.
Development Service provided a network in 2014. When I participated in a Start and Improve Your Business training of trainers and got certified.
There's a lot, actually, a call for refugees to integrate the labor market in Uganda, because Uganda has made it easy for the refugees to create enterprises and even to get employment.
65,000 trainers all over. We develop some master trainers. These master trainers will develop more and more trainers. And there will be a lot of trainers supporting entrepreneurs to start and grow their businesses.
Sudat Kaye, Douglas Setumba, UBC News.
Now, workers have been urged to advocate for their rights at their respective workplaces and the employers to stop over-exploiting employees. Advocates for workers' rights say employers take advantage of employees who are desperate for employment to violate their rights, as well as other exploit them, as a matter that continues to worsen employer-employee relationships. Details follow.
In Uganda, 25% of workers go through hardships, with their rights being violated by the employers and sometimes by fellow workmates. Despite the shrinking employer-employee relationship, there are other challenges often faced by employees at workplaces, and these include inadequate pay, work without pay, sexual harassment, lack of required equipment to execute their duties, and employers not remitting their social security funds even after deducting it from their gross pay. This has impacted on the lives of workers, with some getting permanent occupational hazards and loss of lives. However, with the advent of different social media platforms, some workers have come out to advocate for their rights, but those who have failed to adjust to the digital world, they have suffered secretly.
They are injured by machines, and most likely even diseased. Many diseases manifest themselves after a long period of exposure to bad conditions. Some workers are tortured, some workers are not treated like human beings, so that one makes the whole thing ugly.
Not only that, the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development is where about 10 ministries are supposed to be. But if you see the budget they give them, it's laughable.
The absence of a minimum wage policy has been an added advantage to employers and investors to over-exploit workers with little pay that isn't commensurate to their qualifications, experience and output. However, Workers MP Adenitwe Wakajara tabled the minimum wage bill in the 10th Parliament of over-exploitation of workers by their employers. The bill was anonymously passed by Parliament, but the President declined to assent to it into law. He returned it to Parliament for further scrutiny.
We want to warn the ministry officials, especially Ministry of Labour and the Directorate of Labour, that they should not disadvantage the workers of this country, because they are the ones that are misinforming the President of Uganda not to assent to the bill. However, the President promised us that he's going to give us a day where we are going to discuss issues concerning minimum wage bill. Because it was processed, it was done in good faith, it is a very good law that can earn workers of this country a minimum wage law.
But the onus is now between the President, the Parliament and Minister of Labour. For us, our work is over. We can only push the three institutions to finalize with the bill.
Employers are skeptical about the minimum wage policy if assented to by the Fountain of Honor into law. These claim that once assented to it may spike industrial unrests, but Wakajara is optimistic that if the bill is enacted into law, it will address some challenges affecting workers at their workplaces.
It should constitute the board, the minimum wage board. The board will be a representative board. Employers, employees, and government, so that they determine a minimum wage that can be friendly to government, to employers, to employees. It will increase productivity because workers will know that their representative negotiated and reached at a certain minimum wage of everybody that is acceptable.
Although the National Social Security Fund to provide social security services to employees in Uganda, it's on record that some organizations and companies have adamantly failed to subscribe to it.
The new act, which was amended recently, this is the best law we have. It safeguards the employer and the employee. And the employer, it's a must. They have to remit that money. If they don't, the law will catch up with them.
As the country celebrates the Labour Day, workers have been urged to advocate for their rights at workplaces.
That they should continue giving their labor, work hard, but once you are not in a workers' organization, which is an organized one and registered and known, that is a union, then you will always be exploited without information.
What I want to assure them that we are now focused. We are trying to see that the relevant laws, policies that are geared towards safeguarding the workers and also improving the workers' livelihood. And we are also trying to see that we push government to create more jobs and ensure that jobs are there for the young people.
The International Labour Day celebrations of 2022 was held at Kololo Ceremonial Ground under the theme Maintaining Safety and Security at the Workplace. Sandra Kahunde, Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Still about Labour Day, unionists in Uganda concerned that despite witnessing more citizens entering the labour market, little is improving in terms of quality of working conditions vis-a-vis remuneration and standards of living. UBC TV interviews Catherine Aneno, the coordinator of Industrial National Coordinating Council Uganda, to get her perspective on the current status quo of Uganda's labour force in the industrial sector and what she thinks should be done to improve the situation.
The origin of Labour Day is traced back to the United States of America in 1886, where an 8-hour day nationwide strike was held in protest of bad working conditions.
May Day is celebrated because the workers were fighting for their rights to ensure that they have a better working conditions. And the better working conditions among them was the long working hours at that time. And not only that, maternity leave for the women. At the same time, ensuring that all the working conditions that they were being denied is improved upon.
Catherine Aneno attributes the sustained poor working conditions in the industrial sector to weak laws governing work and the existence of politically inclined representatives.
For the workers' members of parliament, I believe they should be independent in parliament, so that they speak for the workforce all over Uganda. But if they are not independent, then we can also be weak. Then down in the grassroots, we can also be weak because we are not speaking for the workers.
According to the World Bank, Uganda's labour force total was reported at 16,497,309 workers aged 15 years and above, and this number is still growing in 2022, in spite of the existence of a social protection policy.
That a majority of the people, when they are still saving, they tell us that they want to save for their retirement. In fact, about almost 56%. So everybody who is still saving has their head on their shoulders, and they are all intended on what the purpose of this fund was. The purpose of this fund is to income replace when you are no longer working. It's called income replacement. The other group of people tell us that they would love to use that money to be able to pay for their kids' education. The third group of people tell us that they would like to complete their houses or to buy a house when they retire. So that's what the research tells us when they are still saving. Unfortunately, when they get their money, their heads get off their shoulders and they become more ambitious. And what do? Many people go into building houses, completing houses, or buying land. 60% of them.
Unlike some of her East African community counterparts, Uganda's lack of a minimum wage policy continues to suppress productivity of most Ugandan laborers.
It is a high time the government make consideration on the minimum wage so that we have the minimum wage in the country. You can see in a factory where you go, the workers will tell you that I'm being paid 5,000. And out of this 5,000, I have to eat lunch. Look at the current situation. The food price is high. The living condition, it is quite high.
In a nutshell, as Uganda celebrates Labour Day, government is faced with an uphill task to ensure improved working conditions of its citizens if we are to realize holistic economic growth. Wadulo Makanold, UBC News, in Kampala.
Now, delayed acquisition of land has been cited as one of the obstacles to industrialization in Uganda. This postpones industrial development, which not only delays economic progress, but also employment creation. Take a look.
There are some Badama there and some Bateso there. To compensate them, they needed 40 billion shillings to compensate them. Madvan said he had no money to compensate them. Then the government tried to say, okay, we shall compensate them, but you look for the money to build the factory. When we were still struggling with that, the Chinese come. When they come, they said, that's all rubbish. We shall compensate these people. They compensated them and they went away. 40 billion cash, they paid them.
For the last so many years, Africa has moved to industrialize from small scale to large scale. Some countries have progressed. Uganda has been and continues to be part of the revolution. Land has been secured, including this one for this phone and computer manufacturing plant at Namamve Industrial Park. Grounds have been broken, including this one for vehicle manufacturing plant at Mbale Industrial Park. In all instances, the results have been visible for all to see.
For the first time, we are not going to be importing these computers from China, from US, from all over the world, but we will be buying them from Namamve Industrial Park. What a wonderful, what a joy for a country like Uganda.
We now have electricity, and we are going to have more electricity. We are going to solve the problem of transport costs by building the railway.
Equipment has been purchased and imported. Skills have been imparted and youth have been employed.
We are working on the small phones, and next year we shall assemble smartphones plus laptops.
Actually, the first day can be hard, but after we teach this, they can be easy.
This milestone is part of the Ugandan government position of establishing industrial parks across all the regions of the country. This ranges from foodstuff manufacturing plants to fabric making factories as well as textile industries. Evelyn Anite is the State Minister for Investment and Privatization. Her recent visit to Bugiri Sugar Manufacturing Plant in eastern Uganda, whose establishment is underway, affirmed the government position.
Because what is in it for me, what is in it for the president, it is the jobs. It is the reduction on our import bill and increase on our export, because we want to export more. We want to create jobs.
But not everywhere has it been smooth. This is the Sukuru Phosphate Factory in the Eastern District of Tororo. It is a project introduced by Guangzhou Dongsang Energy Group to manufacture steel and fertilizers. Originally valued at over $600 million, the project suffered a legal blow over land ownership wrangles. This followed a claim by a Chinese businesswoman called Fang Min. Acting through her lawyers, she accused the group of fraudulently expropriating a 26 square kilometer mineral site in Osukuru sub-county. The matter was also brought to the attention of the head of state, and this is what he advised.
I advised them, I said, if you are quarreling with the other Chinese, if you are quarreling with Fang Min for compensation, that issue of compensation can go to court, but it should not stop the project. Should not stop the project.
Moments later, the Commercial Court of Uganda took a decision. To his disappointment,
I heard that a court had stopped the man who had put $630 million on the ground. It's really not. Why stop? Why? If these people are quarreling about who, they can solve that. Why do you stop this?
Such are some of the obstacles that developing countries suffer in their quest for industrialization and development. Uganda is no exception. Unfortunately, the implications are always negative.
This is not just constitutional mandate. It is historical mandate. Remember, this project has got money from banks. And any day you delay, interest is accumulating. The money is not producing. You cannot be serious. You cannot be serious. There's no way you can say that you are serious, that you are a judge or what. I may not be so clever, but certainly I can see that you are not serious. What are you looking for?
This does not only deny the country development, but also employment opportunities to would-be employees. This is why government's ability to acquire land for industrial development should be strengthened.
Because if you say that we want to have land in Western region, let me say, you find the land belongs to individuals. So it becomes too expensive for government to acquire land from the individuals and give it to government itself so that we can put a huge plant that can be able to help us to accommodate those numbers of youths who are unemployed.
In this regard, Parliament has a role to play.
We must help government to create land for industries. Without industries, automatically you cannot be in a position to accommodate all these number of youths that are educated but not employed.
The country's population is growing. The youth are educated, graduates are increasing, yet jobs are scarce. The answer is in industrialization, whose success partly depends on overcoming obstacles, including land acquisition. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thank you so much, Henry Okrut, for that wonderful story on acquisition of land and for it to be made easy for all the industrial land. Now we'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with more stories in business, sports and international news.
Pay for your dream phone, Mpola. Get your dream phone today for as low as 1,400 Uganda shillings with free data for a year and pay slowly. All phones come with daily 50 MBs for 12 months. Repayment period is 1 year. Available at MTN service centers and M-Kopa shops.
COVID-19 is still here with us. As Owechitiwa Peter Maiga, the Prime Minister of Buganda, states, let us all take the necessary precautions.
Self-medication is always very dangerous. We should leave medical matters to the medical personnel. It's only a healthy population that can produce wealth. And if you want to work for your well-being, you must care about your health first.
Because of the new COVID-19 circulating variants like Omicron, it is very important for all of us to be fully vaccinated with 2 doses of the same vaccine type. It's only those getting Johnson & Johnson who receive only a single dose to be fully protected.
Even after vaccination, continue to adhere to all SOPs by wearing a mask properly, covering your mouth and nose, washing your hands regularly with soap and clean water or using an alcohol-based sanitizer, maintaining physical distance of at least 2 meters from others and avoiding crowds. Echa COVID-19, chija kugwa. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF and partners.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
In preparation for the parliamentary and local government councils by-elections in Omoro County, Omoro District, the Electoral Commission will conduct a display of the National Voters Register for Omoro County constituency. The public display of the voters' register will be conducted at each polling station within Omoro County from Monday the 25th of April to 4th of May 2022, starting at 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on each of the appointed dates, including weekends. The purpose of the display exercise is to enable voters to check for the correctness of their particulars, to confirm that photographs appear against correct particulars, to report to the display officer the following categories of persons: those who have died, the non-citizens, if any, those who are under 18 years of age, if any, and those who belong to another parish. Please note that there will also be a display of lists of persons recommended for deletion from the voters' register for a period of 6 days from the 5th of May to the 10th of May 2022. The purpose of this supplementary display is to enable any person who may have been wrongly recommended for deletion to raise an objection to the parish tribunal. The parish or ward tribunal may reinstate the person if convinced of the genuineness of an objection.
Football packages, great entertainment, sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Everybody, Go TV. This is where great stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With Go TV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Uganda shillings per month. Go TV, great stories, Zidiwano. Go TV Uganda, love it.
Seventeen minutes to 9 p.m. and we're still going with UBC News Tonight. Thank you so much for still watching. In more stories, the Muslim community in Uganda has been challenged to continue embracing peace, love and unity even after the fasting period, as it has been the norm during the Ramadan season. Now, this is part of the congratulatory message to the Muslim community upon fulfilling one of the pillars of fasting in Islam.
Hundreds of Muslim believers will this Monday converge at different mosques and playgrounds across the country and the world at large for Eid al-Fitr prayers.
Of course, the month of Ramadan has come to an end, and indeed it is the holy month of Ramadan where we have been a refresher course.
Amidst the skyrocketing fuel and commodity prices in Uganda, the Muslim community in Uganda has embraced the pillar of fasting in Islam.
I congratulate all of you for having fasted even under such trying moments.
Those who have shared with the needy during the fasting period have been helped.
We have been very close to the poor. We have been sharing the little we have with the poor, with the underprivileged. We have been very close to the Creator.
Amir Yunus Kamoga has also invited both the Muslim and non-Muslim communities to continue embracing the brotherhood exhibited during the holy month of Ramadan.
Just like we have worked together during the Ramadan season, let's carry forward the spirit of working together, loving each other and sharing.
Besides prayers, many Muslim believers are expected to hold celebrations. However, they are being encouraged not to differ from the religious norms.
I believe that we have attained a lot during this holy month of Ramadan. We have prayed, we have supplicated, we have tried to stick to the religious norms, and indeed this is what we are expected to do, even in the other 11th month.
This year's Open Eid celebrations in Uganda will be the first of its kind after 2 years of COVID restrictions, where only a few were allowed to converge for such prayers. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Now, 378 guns have been burnt in Kotido district under Silencing the Gun campaign, which is aimed at eliminating illegal guns from people. The Deputy Inspector of Police, Kasigezi Tumsime, led the exercise and appealed to KARAMOJA to embrace government programs to eradicate poverty. The function was attended by officials from the UPDF, police, KARAMOJA leaders and the locals. Take a look.
178 guns have been burnt under a campaign codenamed Silencing the Gun by the year 2030, which is aimed at eliminating illegal guns from people. Kotido leaders asked government to protect people and their property and eradicate poverty.
The Karamojong is himself by Karamojong, the animal that's a cow, and then the sorghum. If you separate one from the other two, things cannot move. So when you are coming to do and we do what's called disarmament, we must first protect the cows. If we don't protect the cows, we shall be chasing air in the disarmament of Karamoja. Because if the reason why these Karashuna are going to rape, they are looking for what to eat. Poverty.
The Deputy Inspector of Police, Tumusime Kasigazi, urged Karamojong to embrace government programs like PMU.
Yes, government programs to defeat hunger, to defeat poverty. Ask for cows, ask for goats, ask for income generating.
Kasigazi assured Karamojong as government is ready to protect the borders.
As government, we have committed to protect you from guns coming from outside. You, on your part, support the government in identifying the criminals.
Kasigazi assured Karamojong as government is ready to protect the borders.
The us in uniform and the you in the wider community. We expect this to be a trust-building process so that you are not coerced into returning guns, but you volunteer to return them.
Area RDC Honoria Ambrose explained the challenges they face in this current disarmament.
When we go to the field to recover these weapons, the warriors give us conditions, and very tough conditions that nobody would accept. They sometimes prefer that we go and pick the guns from the bush. And the other condition is that we must not go with soldiers. And definitely we go without escorts, without soldiers to recover these weapons. That is how hard it is.
The 3rd Division Commander, Brigadier General Joseph Balikudembe, explained that errant soldiers are court-martialed.
We arrested here in Kotido, Moroto, and Patre Karenga that were involved in this act of selling bullets, and they are serving heavy sentences in the government prison.
The burnt guns were collected between 2018 and 2022. Kotido district ranked first with many guns, followed by Moroto, Kabong, Nabilatuk, Amudat.
Katakwi District Chairperson Geoffrey Omolo says that he has been receiving complaints from more claimants claiming that they're being compensated as low as 100,000 Ugandan shillings instead of 1 million per cow. Now, Omolo made this revelation during the oversight meeting held by the Office of the Minister for Teso Affairs and the Development Partners at the district headquarters.
Government recently launched livestock compensation payments for all claimants in the regions of Acholi, Lengo and Teso, where the claimants are expected to be paid at least 1 million per cow. However, in Teso sub-region, there is a feud between the leaders and the beneficiaries over the exercise that is seemingly marred by disparities.
Information we are getting is that much as the payments have started, but some people will receive 300,000. I hear there's even someone who has received 100, if that is true. And yet the commitment was per animal lost will be 1,050,000. But how do you give somebody 100,000? Even if you are paying a half, but what is the 100? Is it a goat or so?
This has brought the attention of the Minister of State for Teso Affairs, Dr. Kenneth Ongalo Obote, who described the culprits as conmen.
The government does not work like that. When the government says we are going to give you this much money, they give you that money. So these people are con men. If they come to you and they tell you sign this paper and we give you, first of all, that money is not being given cash. It will be paid into your accounts. So if someone comes to you with that money, sign here, it means there is something they want to do with your signature. Maybe they'll go and claim your money now.
Ongalo also blamed the leaders for not doing enough in sensitizing the beneficiaries.
We have not explained this thing properly to you. when it was launched in Soroti, we were so excited and we were talking as if tomorrow all of you will wake up with money in your accounts.
Yeah.
That is the problem. And I take responsibility for that. Because as someone who is in government where all the planning is done, I know how this is going to be done, how long it will take.
He assured the claimants the government is committed to paying them off, but it will be in the first manner.
So I want to assure you, I know some of you now are not happy to hear this. I wish I could lie to you and make the lie happen. But the truth is we don't have enough money to pay off everybody in just 1 year. But the payment is there.
Currently, government is looking for over 1.2 trillion shillings for the livestock compensation payments for the war claimants of Acholi, Lango and Teso sub-regions. Sandra Kahonde, Okowu Joseph for UBC News.
Choose our with Airtel Money Quick Loans. Get a top-up loan when you have insufficient funds to buy airtime, pay utility bills, or make payments at a local supermarket. Complete your transaction and pay later. Dial *185*7*10# to opt in. Get an Airtel Money Quick Loan and pay later. Choose our with Airtel Money Quick Loans in partnership with Housing Finance Bank and powered by Yabex. Airtel, the smartphone network.
A World Cup in the desert? The first one in the Middle East. The first to be held at the end of the year? That's crazy. Get ready for spectacular moves, high-flying saves, unbelievable goals. Out of this world celebration.
Would you believe it? What a moment here!
All 64 matches live. That's over 5,000 action-packed minutes of the FIFA 2022 World Cup Qatar. Now that's crazy. Catch all the action only on SuperSport, your world of champions. On Go TV. Love it.
Need to send money to a loved one but you don't have enough on your phone? Have you run out of fuel but you don't have enough money? Do you want to pay for your car or water but have insufficient funds? Or do you want to shop but you don't have enough money? Don't worry. Get away with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial *165*5*3# to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
Well, you're still watching UBC News Tonight. In our business stories, governments try to address poverty out from communities through the Emuga presidential initiative that is gaining ground with beneficiaries endeavoring to recover loans. This is witnessed in the performance assessment program of the Emuga SACCOs in Chenjojo District, Rwenzori Sub-Region. Take a look.
State Minister for Microfinance Haruna Kasolo has applauded Chenjojo District residents for being the best performing region in Rwenzori Sub-Region. The Emuga program is said to be inducing financial equity in their households. This is manifested by decreased occurrences of domestic violence.
Abakazi nibazoka kulungi, abakazi nibarorera kulungi amaka gabo, abana nibasoma. So embera yaitu ngabakazi itwe aba Mwenge Central niturola improving.
The Member of Parliament for Mwenge Central, Kano Tombutime, appreciated his constituency and the entire district for being the best and urged SACCO members to recover loans as soon as they can.
communities are tough. Say the same. Now you take care. Go to Kika and Alba. Now say you know, now
the spike in economic activity in this region is spurring financial institutions to now partner with some circles.
One of the things we intend to do is to work with them more closer and see those circles that have the projects that we can lend so that we can add more money and they can add their other groups.
Mwenge Central Constituency got seed capital of 560 million shillings, disbursed loans worth 949,411,800 shillings at a recovery rate of 70%, saving 184,153,900 shillings. Mwenge North got seed capital of 560 million shillings, disbursed loans worth 992,353,000 shillings at a recovery rate of 77%, saving 266,536,000 shillings. Mwenge South also got seed capital of 560 million shillings, disbursed loans worth 205,198,000 shillings at a recovery rate of 80%, saving 314,791,450 shillings. From the 16 billion shillings seed capital received by 54 circles in Chenjojo district, local leaders believe that the 76% overall district performance is a stepping stone towards market dominance from their agricultural produce. Wadulo Markanold Kagoro Joshua in Chenjojo district.
Even with my grandson, a doctor at my side, I struggled to get the help I needed. But he saw something that day. He began to work day and night. He wouldn't quit, even when people said no. He wouldn't stop fighting. He knew something had to change, and his vision was bigger than anyone could imagine. He made it possible to receive quality medical services anywhere in Uganda by simply using a phone.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
We're nearing towards the end of the bulletin, but lastly in our sports stories, according to the UNICEF Uganda Annual Report 2019, poor sanitation and hygiene, as well as unequal access to safe water, makes thousands of children very sick at risk of death. It is against this background that Viva Konagwa Uganda, a non-government organization, organized a sports gala in KARAMOJA purposely to help inculcate the values of clean drinking water, sanitation and hygiene.
In Uganda, nearly a tenth of the population practices open defecation, and 2/3 of households do not wash with soap. In most cases, children get diarrhea by drinking unsafe water or coming into contact with contaminated surfaces. Viva Konagwa Uganda, a non-government organization, through the sports gala, washing competitions to help improve Ugandans' health. Another key to reducing childhood illness and death is to stop using open fields or the bush's toilets. This was made known to the participants through games of the day as they practiced toilet manners for both children and adults.
We are here on this campaign, Be a Wash Champion. We want to have wash champions, water sanitation hygiene champions in our communities where we live. So today we are teaching people about the importance of clean drinking water, sanitation and hygiene. And today we had different games where we engaged a number of children, and now we are teaching parents about how they can have safe drinking water using a water purifier.
The impact on parents and their children's lives is compounded because it is likely that children may contract the disease multiple times because in Uganda, 2/3 of households do not wash with soap.
We have so many people here are struggling because of their daily challenges. So we thought we should give a helping hand with some little things that we can also afford, which is giving them knowledge on the importance of sanitation and hygiene, and also giving them some water filters which they can use to have clean drinking water.
Oteekamu ensuwa munda n'oteeka amazzi mu nsuwa eyo gye batuwadde, amazzi gava mu nsuwa nga bwe gagenda awo wansi y'ensuwa ku baketi, ago mazzi ge tunywa gaba gesengejejja. Kigenda tuyamba obutagwatirwa endwadde eziva mu mazzi nga si mafumbe.
Lack of proper sanitation and hand-washing facilities in schools put students, school administrators and staff at risk of bacteria and viral infection like diarrhea and COVID-19. According to UNICEF and other non-government organizations like Viva Konangwa Uganda, more attention is being given to addressing this lack of According to UNICEF and other non-government organizations like Viva Konangwa Uganda, more attention is being given to addressing this lack of sanitation issue in Uganda. Sandra Kahunde, Vincent Wamondu, UBC News.
Brought to you by...
We're here to build because at the end of the day, we're truly Ugandan.
Well, that brings us to the end of UBC News Tonight from 8 to 9 p.m. Thank you so much for being a part of it. My name is Sharon Chondeshe with Mugalu Mohammed on Sign Language. Do join us again at 10 p.m. for more news coming your way. Have a good night.